Hey friend, today we've got an all floor routine to help strengthen and stretch out your hips. Those are my favorite kind of routines, all on the floor. All you need is a yoga strap. If you don't have one of these, you can use a scarf, a belt, or even a hand towel. Come on down to the floor, let's get comfortable. You can put your strap aside. We're just gonna start by laying down, resting your head on the floor. I'm bringing both knees in towards your chest. Give a little rock side to side with your legs. You are keeping your head and shoulders glued to the floor, but your legs are rocking just a little bit side to side. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And let it go through your mouth. We are going to place your feet on the floor a little bit wider apart than your hips, and your arms are going to reach out to the sides. You're going to start to drop those knees from one side of your mat to the other. Once again, your head and shoulders pretty much stay in place. We're trying to isolate this movement down into the legs. These are called windshield wipers. Starting to warm up your hips, starting to sense what kind of state they're in right now, how they're feeling. Great time to take another deep breath. And we'll come back to the center. Pull both knees in towards your chest. We're going to hold just the right knee now and send your left leg out long onto the floor and start to point and flex your right ankle. Really finishing each movement. Get a full point and a full flex. And at the same time, you've got your shoulder blades just gently tucked underneath you. Your eyes and nose are pointing at the ceiling. And we are actually stretching your back right now. So believe it or not, as you pull this knee in towards your chest, you are stretching out your back, waking up those hips a little bit. We are going to switch legs. Send that right leg out nice and long. Start to move your left ankle. If there's any pain here in your back, what you can do is bend up the long leg. You can always put that foot on the floor rather than long on the ground. Take another breath in through your nose and out your mouth. And then we'll pull both knees in towards your chest. And again, rock those legs a little bit side to side. Your head stays where it is. Shoulders and head are grounded. Legs are moving side to side. We're going to grab your strap. Put your left foot on the floor. And send your right leg up into the sky. You want long, strong arms here. I've got the strap on the ball of the foot. And your leg may not be straight. It might not even be close to straight. What I don't want is for your leg to be forward over here. So if you have tightness on the backs of your legs, bend your knee a little bit so that your knee is at least over your hip, if not over your chest. If it feels good to straighten your leg, you can go ahead and do so, but don't worry right now if that is not happening. That is not important. We are starting to wake up and stretch the back of your leg into your hamstrings. Your other leg could go long onto the floor. If that's too much intensity or causes any pain, keep that leg slightly bent. Take a breath while you're here. Keep your chest nice and open by tucking your shoulder blades under. And just take your time. We're starting with some stretching. Now, if it is okay, put that left leg long and flat. If it wasn't already, put both ends of the strap in your left hand. Take this leg across the body without twisting. I'm not twisting the body. That means both sides of the back of my hips, they are still on the floor. I'm just taking this leg across the midline, and you might start to feel some awakening into your outer hips, the lateral hamstrings, that's still the back of your leg, maybe into your glutes here. Take that leg back up to the center. Switch to the other hand without leaning your body to the right. You're going to take that leg a little bit off to the sides. And again, if you want to bend that knee, it's fine. If you want to bend the other knee, it's fine. You can take some of that intensity out. But we are stretching now more at the inside of this right leg. Those are your adductor family of muscles, or otherwise known as your inner thighs. We are going to bring that leg back to the center. Let's take the other leg up so that you can slip the right one out. We will change sides. This might feel really different, this side. For me, it does. I've got two different hips, two different legs. They each have their own history and story. So you might need to do something different on this side. You might need to bend your knee a little more. You might keep your right leg bent. If you want to straighten both of them and it feels good, go for it. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to be happy. I want you to do good kind of work, okay? So that means there's good stress being put on your body. Take a deep breath. We're going to take this one across. So the strap goes into my right hand, my left arm goes out to the side, and I just take it across the midline. And as soon as you get stuck, you meet some tension, you meet resistance, your leg might even be shaking. That's okay. Totally fine. Just take a breath. Breathe through it. Bend your knee as needed. We're going to go out to the side. So I switch to my left hand. Right arm goes out. That's just helping you to keep your chest open and your good posture. I am not rolling my whole body to the side. Don't let that leg take you over. Reach long and strong through the opposite leg onto the floor. Keep your pelvis grounded, your head and your shoulders grounded. Move that left leg off to the side. We're almost done. That's stretching again those adductors on the inner thigh there. We're going to bring that leg back up to the center. Bring both feet back up. Two legs into the sky. Take a breath. Feel your symmetry here. Even though, again, righty and lefty kind of have a different story and might even have different things going on, different strength, right? One is often stronger than the other. That's okay. Just feel them in a symmetric position for a moment. And then we're going to let this go. Put your strap to the side. We're done with that. We're going to place our feet on the floor about hips distance, your arms along your sides, your shoulder blades tucked underneath your body, your nose and eyes straight up at the ceiling. And you are going to start by tucking your tail, squeezing your glutes, and lifting your hips up. When you start to take your hips up from the floor, your feet might want to move, and I want you to let them move. My feet were too close to my head, so I moved them forward a little bit. Now I'm more comfortable. I can squeeze the glutes. That is the primary purpose of this bridge pose we're doing right now. You are squeezing your gluteus maximus muscles, very strong muscles that literally help you push your hips up towards the ceiling. You're going to take a deep breath, and then you're going to come on down. And once you land, once your pelvis lands on the floor, you're going to pull your knees towards your chest, but you're going to grab behind the knees. So the backs of the knees, pull in towards your chest, and feel free, if it feels good, to let your feet go up into the sky. That's going to stretch a little bit the backs of your thighs. Those hamstrings will get a little stretch. We're going to go for another bridge, but this time we're going to go up and down. I don't want you to go up super high. That is not the point. The point is to get a nice squeeze in your tush, so that we strengthen those big muscles. Place your feet about hips distance. Place your arms alongside your body. Tuck that tail under. Draw your abdominals into contraction and then lift your hips up. And again, if you need to move your feet a little bit so you're in a comfortable spot, go for it. Do it. So I came up. I'm not pushing my chest up. I'm keeping this rib cage kind of small and tight. I'm using my abs to prevent my chest from opening. Now we're going to go partway down, and I'm going to squeeze and lift back up. It is a small movement. Down, squeeze and lift up. Down, squeeze and lift up. So the squeezing is happening at your glutes, right? Feeling those backs of the legs also ignite. Those are your hamstrings going into contraction. You're holding a tone in your abdominals the whole time to protect your lower back and keep it in a fairly neutral, natural position as your hips go up and down. Your toes are unclenched. We're going to do about 2 more. Don't worry about how much range of motion you get. If you feel those muscles working, you're doing it right. Come on down. Grab the backs of your knees again. Whoosh. Did you feel that work? You might not feel fatigue in your butt. Okay, you might not feel it because that is a big muscle. It can go for quite a long time, but you maybe felt it in your hamstrings, and especially right now, we are giving them a stretch because of that good work that they did. I'm grabbing the backs of my knees, just taking a moment to relax. I'm checking my list. What are we doing next? Oh, here's a good one. So we have been working our way around the thigh here, doing some good work, strengthening all these muscles all the way around the thigh. We're gonna get a little deeper into that. I want you to put your left leg out long and strong. Really press that heel into the floor, and your right leg is gonna go up towards the sky, and it's gonna be pointy through the ankle and the toes. Your arms are along your sides, but not super close to you, and you're pushing your arms into the floor. My right leg is up. I'm gonna make a backwards letter D in the sky there. So my leg starts to go over to the left, swings down and around, and then comes straight back up again. Let's do that again. Take a letter D. Size doesn't matter. I am breathing as I go. And the thing that's happening is I'm trying not to rock my hips. You might even put your hands on your hips for a round or two. I'm trying not to rock and roll my body. My leg is moving almost independently of the rest of my body. I'm using my left leg, pressing it into the floor. I'm using my arms and pressing them into the floor. This is a full body exercise, but the movement is only meant to happen into that leg. Bend your knees, pull them in towards your chest. Did you feel all that work all the way around your thigh on that right side? I felt my left leg working as well. Letter D's. Here goes the other side. Right leg goes to the floor. Your left leg may be slightly bent, right? Because you're feeling tension in the back of the leg. That's fine. You can keep it bent as you take your forwards letter D's. I'm going across the body, as long as you've got life all the way out to the toes. No lazy legs just because we are bending the knee if needed. I'm going to keep mine slightly bent. My body just told me, I think it needs to be a little bent today. So I'm swinging out to the side. I'm not worried about the size of the letter D. I am focused on the action, on the muscular contraction of all the muscles in my leg, of my abdominals, of even my arms pressing into the floor. I'm going to do about 2 more. And I'm breathing. My eyes and nose stay on the ceiling so that your neck is in a neutral position. Here's my last letter D, and I'm gonna give myself a hug and like a round of applause for that one. Go ahead and let your legs move a little bit side to side. This is not easy. This is not easy. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. We are gonna roll all the way over onto your side. Go ahead and put your hand under your head, or you can put your head on your arm long like this. I prefer to put my head in my hand. I am stacking my hips so I'm not falling forwards or backwards, and my knees are bent just a little bit in front of my body. I'm just gonna get a moment here to be comfortable. Sometimes it's difficult lying on your side, so just take a second to get ready. Your top arm here can just go in front of you for balance, and then you're gonna straighten out this top leg. I'm gonna do another point here with my ankle and with my toes. I want you to push this leg into the floor for stability. I want you to tone up your waistline and use this top hand for balance. We're just gonna go up and down, that's it. I am taking that leg up, it's like paint the fence on the wall over there with my toes. I'm going up and down. And you know what? This leg is not in front of my body. In fact, it is the teensiest bit behind me. So when I look down the front of my body, I can just barely see my foot as it goes up and down. Because you know what? I'm squeezing this butt behind me. I'm squeezing that glute max, and you are working some of these outer glute muscles. Breathe and hold as you go up and down just for another moment. And we take a rest by just relaxing one leg on top of the other. Just let yourself go for a moment. Take a breath. We are going to change it just a little bit. We're going to do another set on this side. Place your arm, or place your head on your arm if you like, or your head in your hand, your choice. I'm going to go along with that leg again. This time, instead of ups and downs, I'm going to make a circle. So that leg is going to come a little bit forward, up, behind me, and down. Now I put my top hand on my hip here because, again, I don't want to wibble wobble. I'm trying not to wibble wobble. My circles are pretty small. I call them basketball size. I call these basketballs. I'm going to do a few more. I am moving my leg as if it's going through molasses rather than air, right? So I'm feeling that resistance. Can you switch your circles to go in the other direction? I'm keeping my hips stacked. Oh man, friend, I'm feeling this. Are you feeling this? Are you feeling this work in your leg? It might be because I already taught a class this morning. We did some of these. But oh, it doesn't take very long. And you know what? That good aching feeling, that's what we need to get your muscles stronger so your hips are less achy throughout the day. Go ahead and take your rest. Ooh, you can rub your hip a little bit. We're going to stretch that out, but not before we do the other side. So, as simply as can be. Let's flip over. Come on to the other side. And again, give yourself a second to get comfortable. It's kind of weird lying on your side. So hips are stacked. Some people like to put a pillow under their head instead. You could do that as well. Okay, my knees are not bent all the way in front of my chest. They're just a little bit in front of me. Here we go. Okay, top leg long and strong, pointy, pointy. Let's see if you can see those toes. There we go. Pointy, pointy. Ankle and toes pointing. I just go straight up and straight down. It's not a big up. And I'm not turning out. That would be a turnout if my toes pointed up. My toes are still kind of looking at you, right? As my leg goes up and down. I'm going to touch my hip for a second just to make sure that they're stacked. They're not really moving. And you know what? My other leg, this bottom leg, is pressing down into the floor. Even my arm is pressing down into the floor. So your leg is moving on its own. That's the only thing in your body moving right now. But your entire body as a system is working together, right? Go ahead and take a rest. Take a deep breath. Here comes some basketballs. Ready? Stick that leg straight out. Use your hand for balance as needed. First one, just go nice and slow. Pick a direction. Draw a circle with your big toe. You might want to look down and check out and see what it's actually doing. I'm going a little up against gravity, a little forward of my body, and a little bit backwards with that nice gluteal squeeze. Speed is not important. Size of the basketball is not important. You are engaging your entire body. The obvious ones are all the muscles working here in your hips and in your legs. Switch directions. Switch your circles. The less obvious ones are my arm pressing into the floor, my waistline pulling up slightly into contraction against the ground, and then the opposite leg pushing down. Your entire body is working as a whole. Holy cow. Take a rest. We're going to flip onto your back and we are going to stretch out. I'm going to flip this way just because I'm more comfortable and my notes are over there on the wall. You can't see them. Come on down to your back. Whichever leg you just did, do you feel it burning? You're going to take the opposite leg first and cross. Ankle over thigh. This is called figure 4. Whew, finally you get a nice stretch. You can grab the thigh, right? That's not doing that outward figure 4 rotation. Pull it in towards your chest. Head is on the floor, taking a deep breath. Letting it out. And we are going to switch. These sides might feel very different for you. For me, my right side is really mobile these days. My left side, I am working on it. But if there's nothing wrong with your hips, right? You haven't had an injury, you haven't had a surgery, nothing's been diagnosed by a doctor, you just have run-of-the-mill everyday aches and pains. What we need to do is strengthen. We need to strengthen our hips so they can handle the jobs we're asking them to do every day. That's all. And a little stretching. Place your feet on the floor. We're going back to windshield wipers to finish. Arms are out to the side. Feet are as wide apart as your mat, or at least wider than your body. And you take those knees side to side. Here's the thing. You should feel better after doing this video once. Even stretching your hips for a few minutes might make those aches go away, but it does not fix them. It's not a permanent fix. This is about maintenance. And when you are older than 40, maybe even for me, it started in my earlier 30s, and your body is changing. We need to work out differently, and we need to do a lot of strengthening just to maintain that level of function, of feeling ourselves and feeling good and being able to do everything we want to do during the day. Bring those knees in towards yourself, in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice hug. And put your feet on the floor. Put your hands on your belly. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Really nice work. I hope you enjoyed this video. Come on up, nice and easy. If you feel better, I want you to add this into your routine. Do this about once a week and see if it helps you to feel better throughout your day. I will see you again soon.